Hi, it's Lori from Positive Thanks Living. I thought I'd come today to you just to talk about what's going on my desk, on my table. Today is mostly about old stuff, or making stuff look old. I have made my first antiquarian purchase. It's called The Old Oaken Bucket. It's a book from 1800s, the late 1800s, 1881, and it's actually a poem. And a woman, drew plates, illustrations about the poem. The neat part about this, I found out later, is that the poem was made into a song. So I've sent away for some music paper, the music that was made about it, and I'm going to use it in a project. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. I don't know. The idea is that we all have bucket list items. You know that term, right? What has gone into your bucket list that you've done, and what is still on that bucket list to yet be done? That's the theme of the journal that I'm considering doing. So this is the oldest book that I've bought for doing junk journaling, and I will be gathering my courage to actually take it apart and use it. The other purchase that I made was from Donna at Past and Pages. She had some music books, 3 of them for sale. There's still one there, I believe, as I make this video. And as you can see, it's gorgeous music and beautifully aged, the color of the pages. I have to say that as a pianist, I am so tempted just to sit down and play all of them, not cut them up for junk journaling. So Donna was so kind online. She was giving me encouragement. You can do it, she said. So I did. I cut up my first piece of music. It's from the 1930s. So I have 2 of these books that I purchased from Donna, and I will be probably only taking it from the first one and keeping the second one to play out of. And someone made the recommendation that I scan it first, and I have, and I will. But using actual paper in junk journaling, not just digitals that I've printed off, it attracts me in a way because what we're doing is we're preserving history. It comes out of the book, it comes out of the closet, it comes out of the cupboards, and it's something that what was old is made new. So I'm really looking forward, and I'll show you a project that I actually did from cutting up my first piece of vintage paper. The other old thing that I made that is made new, this is my mom's button box. And I have memories of some of these buttons. This one, for example, it's a velvet button, and she had it on a coat. I remember it as a child. I probably have a picture of it somewhere. Different buttons. Yeah. This is from a store called Towers in Canada. It doesn't exist anymore, but I remember it from my childhood. So making what was old new again because we're using it. There's a game piece. Anybody have any ideas for game pieces? That would be interesting. So something old, junk journaling with stuff that isn't junk, but would otherwise have been put into the landfill. I moved my mum from her apartment into assisted living, and she had so much that was precious to her because it wasn't the item, it was the memories behind the item. And if I could have brought it all home with me to where I live, 15 hours away. I would have, but I couldn't. And plus, I don't have room for everything. So instead, I took bits and pieces with me. The rest I gave away to charity. So hopefully some junk journaler somewhere is using those things of my mum's that were part of her history. So I'll be using these buttons on, they'll show up on my creations now and again. I haven't even gone through the box. What do you do with your buttons? Do you have a bunch of buttons? Do you sort them according to color? Yeah, that's something I have to do some research on. If you can leave some comments in the bottom of this video, that would be very helpful if you have any ideas of what you do with your buttons other than just keeping them in the box. So that's great. I'm looking forward to using that. This is a piece of my mother's, it's a dresser scarf. So eventually this will become a junk journaling cover, I think. I think it's really pretty. It has a stain on the other side. So, but as I've watched many of you do, I just cut around it, I guess, and not use the stain or cover it up with something else. The joy of this craft, huh? And I've been doing tea dyeing paper. Now I've done this before, and it's fun, and I do it when my husband isn't around because as you probably experience if you yourself do the tea dyeing of paper, you sort of spread out all over and it gets a little messy. So it's better if I clean up before Rob comes home. Now the fun part is I found some graph paper, again, old stuff, and when I went to tea dye it, as you can see, it turned blue. Well, the graph paper is blue dots, blue ink on there, and it leached out into the water. So that was kind of cool what happened there. And what do you call this? That was graph paper. This is ledger paper. So tea dyed some ledger paper and tea dyed some paper doilies and, you know, stuff that we do. So making the new stuff look old, that was the next thing. I have also been working on 30 days of thankfulness. I'm journaling for the month of October, keeping my eye on being thankful and away from politics. I had done 18 out of 30 last year, and I completed it this year. There's an entire document ready to make available on Positive Thanks Living, the website where I write. So I have been journaling, and you might see it on Instagram. And so this is my start on my journal. That was today, Sunday. Thankful for those who have invested in you as a person. Well, I'm thankful for all of you. You have invested in me and this journey I've been taking on junk journaling. You didn't know that I was watching, but I love your videos. And for all of those of you in the different Facebook groups, thank you so much for sharing your expertise, your insights. You have invested in me, and I'm thankful for you. So that's another thing that I'm up to these days. I was going to show you the thing that I made from the paper. This is it. This is what I made from that piece of song paper that I cut up. It's a little pocket. And I've watched you do these. Patricia Vera Montes, she makes things out of paper that's from a page. And I added a little button from my mom's button box. So now this has become what was old is now new. And I thought we could, if you wouldn't mind, I could just craft a little bit with you now. I'm going to use this junk, true for junk journaling, yes. It's the card where my new corner punch came on. I'm going to make a tag to go inside this little pocket because it fits just so. I'm going to cover it up with this backing paper. I've traced around it to save time. And then try and do some layering. That's something I'm practicing too, is the collaging, the layering of things. I've watched many of you do it many times, but I'm still learning. I thought I could use a little bit of this tracing paper. I've painted on it. I've used the distress ink where you mush the distress ink and then you pour some water on it. You spritz some water on and then you put the tracing paper down and pick it up and it dries with this interesting, see, that's what's underneath here. I like the feeling of it and the transparency. And I thought I'd use some tea-dyed paper from a dictionary and the ledger. And this is just tracing paper that I tea-dyed. This is the first time I've tried tea-dyeing tracing paper. And this is the graph paper that was blue lines, that is now just blue ink with a very faint purpley line. So I'm going to try and make a tag that'll go in this pocket. Cutting it out. I want to say thank you so much for all of you that have interacted with me on Instagram and in the different Facebook groups. You've brought this craft into my world that takes place in a small quarantined apartment. You know how it is with this pandemic. We're not going out and we're not doing the things that we used to do. So you've opened up my little apartment and made it like a trip around the world with you. Your voices, the accents from all over the world. It's wonderful. When I listen to those of you that are from Canada, it feels like going home. Because that's my roots. I was born in Canada. And when I listen to those from Britain, well, that's a place I'd really like to go. I'd love to visit. All the different Scotland and all the areas of England and Wales. Oh, it would be lovely. And even those junk journalers from the Netherlands and from Germany and Austria. I spoke German as a child because my grandmother was German. And so hearing both German accents and those of you that do videos in German, I delight in hearing your voices and the different accents. And I mean, those from the southern USA, it's great. I don't know, do we have any junk journalers that speak Spanish? I think it would be fun to listen to someone who speaks Spanish, whether they're from Spain or whether they're from Latin America or South America. If you know of anybody, put a link below. I would love to explore some Spanish-speaking junk journalers. And of course, Australia. We have some wonderful junk journalers that I've watched that are from Australia, and their accent. When I first started spending time on Instagram, I would see photos of like for us, when it's summer, it's winter for you, and vice versa. And that's what made the geography and the fact that our globe is so unique, our world, our earth, where one of us in Australia could be experiencing the leaves turning brown, and I'm experiencing the leaves just coming out. It's spring. Yeah, the opposites. What a wonderful world we live in, huh? So thank you for all the videos that you're making. And know that you have invested in me without even knowing it. And I think I'm going to Now we have this on either side. And I thought it would look pretty going in here to tie in with a little bit of yellow. That was the thought, anyhow. This backing paper is from Kerr. She is Happiness and Crafting. Now I have blue on there, but yeah, okay, we'll do blue again. I have to switch out my little inking pads because I don't have enough of the wooden, what do you call that? Wooden implements. But it's cool how it can just switch out like this so easily. So thank you very much for making your videos. Thank you for those of you that I interact with on Instagram and on Facebook in the different groups. It's fun meeting all of you. Thank you also to those who have subscribed to this channel. I started out making videos because Marci from Creators Call, she suggested that a video would be a good way to talk about what we were sending her for her challenge. And by the way, Marci made it to 100 subscribers. That's exciting. So thank you for all of you that have subscribed to this channel. I'll try to make videos on a regular basis that hopefully will add value to you. I'll try. I'm happy to interact with you. I really am. And for those of you that perhaps have never been here before, hi, I'm Lori. I write at Positive Thanks Living. I've started junk journaling, this adventure in crafting, bringing together all the different paper things. So I'm learning along with you. Now, do I repeat the circle, do you think? The circle motif, or tear something, tear it off? Yeah, so many of you, when you make your videos, you're talking at the same time, and I am not so good at that yet. I presume that when you first began, it wasn't really easy for you also. I think I like that. We'll do a little bit of blue along the edges. So my main focus has been writing. I have done a website called Positive Thanks Living. That's why this channel is called Positive Thanks Living. And it's about living, incorporating being thankful and being optimistic into your life. So the things that I write are about all along that concept. I like to take quotes or interesting things people have said and create a short post. I try, most of them are under 300 words. The idea is that it's not too long for anybody to read, because we all have busy lives. Who has time to read a lot? Especially if reading, your reading is very heavy in your professional life. I feel strongly that being optimistic, even if it's not your natural behavior, is an important gift that we give to ourselves and we give to those around us. So, yeah. My husband, Rob, he has been a wonderful support. He's so encouraging for me. As I write, as I do this crafting, he is the neat person in our relationship, meaning he likes things tidy, he likes things in their place. He is he'll be the first one to pick things up or put things away or do the dishes. And me, well, not so much. I don't know, do you have that in those that you share your life with? Those that are quick to do things that are neat and tidy? Is that you? I wonder how many of us junk journalers are the neat people in life, or how many of us are the ones that need a little help being neat. I don't know. I think I'd like to put a little of this lace to echo this. Yes? I think so. This came as quite a much wider piece of lace, and I've just sort of been cutting it down as I watched you guys do. You do that too. Have to be careful that when it slides in there, that it'll look okay. I don't know. Other side? No. To me, it should go all the way across. What do you say? What do you think? This is hard to do when you're making a video. I've never actually crafted without any plan in mind when making a video. Maybe some of these things here, I can find something different to add. What do you say? How do you decide what's going to go on your crafting? Does it just sort of show up, or you have a plan ahead? Is pink? I don't know. We're not going to do pink on this one. I suppose it comes after lots of trial and error, and things that you like more than you like other things. I don't have any blue that I've cut out yet. And the reason I chose this piece of paper to begin was tranquillo. It's about being quiet, playing quietly, calmly, softly. So I thought that worked well together. So I don't want anything too loud or too jarring, too big. I have these cards. That might be interesting. And you wouldn't see it when it goes in there. I have to cut off the ends. But that's okay, right? Act of relaxing with loved ones, good food. That sounds like a calm sort of thing to do. Let's cut it. Let's cut it and see what happens. This is a printable I bought from Musings by Nikki on Etsy. And they're all different words that are interesting words. I can't remember what she calls them. So, Sturmfrei, the freedom of being completely alone. Ah, yes, that's good. You know, she has all kinds of different word definitions. And that made me smile when I looked at the options. Yeah, I think I like that idea. There. Okay, that can go at the bottom, and it'll be hidden, but that's okay, right? I think that's okay. Let's give this a little bit of blue to tie in. I had already outlined it already in green, but that's okay. Do you have favorite colors that you work with all the time? We're getting into the autumn time period. And so all the bottom digitals and papers and things are showing up online when I see everyone's journals. So the browns and the oranges and the yellows and all the leaf colored things are showing up. I've cut out some. This was a Friday freebie from Kerr, and I've cut them out. I fussy cut them, but I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm still on blue. Okay. Is that enough, you think? Just to tuck that in? I don't know. I'm still struggling over. Do you add a piece of lace? Maybe a button from this button box. Another button? Sure. Why not, right? Maybe a yellow button. Green button? Smaller button. Smaller yellow button. What would you choose? Soft yellow. I like a soft yellow. Or is that too big? I better not throw it back into the box, otherwise I'm never going to find it. See, there has to be an easier way of organizing these, other than mushing through them every time. I hope this isn't making too much noise for the video. Forgive me if it is. Or do I? Here's a blue one. Blue better? Here's another blue. Softer blue. Softer blue on a bigger piece of lace with another yellow in there. Yes, I think I'm going to do it that way. Is anybody yelling at me right now? No, do the yellow one. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll put the lace down. I'm going to find some yellow. I have bits and pieces of the embroidery floss, and this is from a baker's twine. Now I just need to have a needle. That's the other thing I want to do is make myself a needle book. I've seen those of you that have done that online. That's on my to-do list. I wonder, would blue look better? No, I think I'd stick with yellow, so it contrasts. Yeah, right now this is where I'm keeping my needles. Oh well, that's okay, right? For now. The joy will be to thread this. It's a pretty big. Are you frustrated as you watch me try and do this? There, I did it. Yay! All right, let's put this on here. Now, do you sew things on, or do you just glue it on? I suppose it depends what kind of project you're working on. I see many of you doing the slow stitching. And I'd like to try that. So many things to try. Here, not exactly. Okay. This one I don't believe I'm going to leave little bits behind. I like this has a tail. I'm not going to leave a tail this time. I don't know why. Just choosing not to. Or maybe it'll show up underneath. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have it show up underneath when I glue it down. I think that'll look pretty. What do you think? Okay. Oh, there's my other tail. There it is. And that has to dry. When it dries, I think that looks pretty. On the back, I'm going to clean up the edges here where I missed a bit, and I'm going to have to trim this too. Hope it doesn't cut off the word too much. Well, we cut off the E of the, but oh. Let's make these little, my hands are all dyed from tea dyeing. They're brown from, stained from the tea dye. Not just the paper gets stained. I'm just trying to separate the little pieces of thread. They hang loose. I like that look. There we go. All right, once it's all cleaned up, we can put it in there. This might hang down a wee bit. There, what do you think? Not too bad. Not too bad. There we are. Something new into something old. So that's Lori with Positive Thanks Living. It's wonderful to spend time with you. And again, I thank you so much for the videos that you make, for subscribing to this channel, for interacting, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or wherever else on social media. It's wonderful to meet you. Take care. It's Lori with Positive Thanks Living.